like. Then we have like task forces, which are usually, these are like the advisory committees, but the advisory committees are usually take years. So someone could be in an advisory committee for 8 years, if that's like the term that they have until it expires. Or it might be less, just depending of the advisory group. For the task force, it's something that is like formed and is dissolved. So you can be like the task force for climate change and planning in the Association for Colleges, Schools of Planning conference, and then you are given the task of doing something. So how are you going to change curriculum? How are we going to change like how the topics are discussed in the conference? Do we want to have a say on like research or an impact in local communities? So the task force is formed for like a period, let's say, of like 2 years or so, and they do a job, and then their job ends, and somebody else might carry out that job. If it needs to keep going beyond like 2 years or whatever the time was established, then it might become something else. It might become an interest group, an advisory committee, some kind of board, something else. But the task force is something that it will be short, and usually is done by a specific leader. So you might have like Erin Mendenhall, which is the mayor of the city of Salt Lake City. She will say, I want a special task force to figure out how the Salt Lake City police could avoid incidences of abuse. And then, so that's like done for a very short period of time, because she's in charge. So when if she leaves, or maybe that topic becomes less important in the future, then the task force might be dissolved. Then you have like town meetings, and it's a meeting in which everybody can express their opinions. So there are no votes taken. You can put the 2-minute period or not, but usually the town hall meetings is like on a specific topic. So let's say that is about the transformation of public housing in Chicago, that the public housing is going to be now it's going to be demolished, and mixed use is going to be in its place. So then the executive director of the organization is in there, and then there's like lots of people, hundreds of people that show up to this meeting, and there's no decision being made. So there's no votes, there's no a board that says yay, nay on something, but it's just like people talking about what they think. And again, there might be not the 2 minutes, so people might maybe a little bit more time. Of course, you have to manage the time somehow, because in a very contentious issues like this, in this town hall meeting, people might come and just like scream and yell at you, which I have seen in very specific, well, in this particular example that I was giving in Chicago. And then you basically you say, yeah, okay, and then you listen. You might not necessarily have to respond to what everybody says, but you record what people say, and then trying to incorporate that to the plan or respond later. But the town hall meetings are very much about just listening to people and what they have to say, and recording that. Then you have the visioning process, which is designed to get a broad cross-section of people in the community to agree where they will want to go in the future. So there's many ways that this is done. You can do it in a workshop over like a few hours. You can do it as we did in class, where people can play with just toys or Legos and create a vision and talk about it. So there's many ways of doing this. Visioning is like one of the most popular things that planners do, and it's like quite fun, at least for big plans like master plans and things like that. There are you can have workshops, just generic workshops that deal with like a particular topic, and the good thing about this is that it allows for a high level of interaction and some learning between the planners and the participants, and also the decision makers. And you have to remember that many of the things that we have discussed already are workshops. Like you can have the charrette kind of, it's like a workshop, or the future search. So there's different kinds of workshops that you can do. You can have a visioning workshop and so on. So let's like put it all together. And the one thing that you have to remember, and it's very important, is that the effectiveness of public participation results not from using like a single public participation technique. Then we discussed many techniques today, but combining many of these techniques together with surveys that are trying to reach a broad audience, with like just micro engagements like the focus group, with less people being involved but in multiple occasions. And you can combine again these different participatory techniques into a total program that might have different windows of engagement.